How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be tying the Golden Octopus. It's a variant. Now this fly is really versatile. You would use it to fish the Irish Loughs for brown trout. You can use it for rainbow trout. You could use it probably any country that you fancy. Now what we're going to do is go through the equipment before we get started with the tying. So the first thing that you'll need obviously is your hooks. And I use the full mil size 10 competition heavyweight in black nickel, but really you can use whatever sort of long shank or medium shank hooks that you want. Next thing you'll need is your thread. So we're going to use the UTC fluorescent Chartreuse Thread. You could use uni thread, Semperfly, whatever you want. It doesn't necessarily matter what thread you're using. Now after that we're going to use the UNIFLOSS in fluorescent Chartreuse as well. What you're going to do is double this up like this about 4 times, could be 5 times, whatever you fancy. Then you're going to cut it off and cut both ends. Then you're going to marry it all together by using a toothbrush or anything with a hard bristle on it. The final product you get out of that is something to the effect of this. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. And then we tie that on there as a tag piece. Next, after that, what you're going to need is your dubbing. Use your dubbing of choice. I just use Davy Wotton's SLF. It's a Hare dub. You can pick this stuff here up on eBay. There'll be a full list in the description of all the products as well. In this colour I'm using Golden Olive, which is this one here. So if you need a colour match, there it is. Next thing you'll need is a body haggle. Now personally I use a Grizzle haggle. I think it's a Metz saddle Grizzle dyed yellow olive or golden olive, but just find something similar to that doesn't have to be Grizzle. It can just be a normal cog haggle. Obviously what you'll need then is your wire. I use UTC in hot yellow. You can use any wire that you fancy. And then as well we have the Opal Mirage Tinsel, also by UTC if I'm not mistaken. We have your Pheasant Rump feather. This is dyed, I think, golden yellow or golden olive. You can use obviously the natural, the red. You can do loads of variations on the colours here, but the main thing is that you use this feather. After that then we're going to use basically a generic hen cape, light brown, if you can find something like that. Then next we're going to be using bronze mallard, just generic bronze mallard. I use the Veniards stuff just because it's convenient, and it's all quality check, but you can buy bags of this stuff cheap enough. This is a medium bronze mallard, but you can use a large or small, it doesn't necessarily matter. Just make sure they're well marked and fairly dark. Then the final thing that we'll need is a English Partridge feather. This one's dyed yellow olive, and it's by Cookshell Fly Tan. But you can pick that stuff up there cheap enough. Really versatile feather. The naturals you can use on top of green peters and stuff, but we'll go over that in a future video. Next one is the varnish. Now I use the Veniards varnish. This stuff's pretty thin. It's all up to your preference, but I prefer the thin stuff. But that's everything now, lads, so enjoy the video. We'll take you through the entire process of tying this fly. Let me know in the comments down below what you'd like to see me tie next, or if you have any comments about the fly that I tied. Like I said, it is a variant, so it's not exactly the original tying, but this works for us. So tight lines, fellas, enjoy the video. You want to start by putting your hook into the vise and putting down a layer of thread. Start a couple of mil from the eye and work your way down towards the base. Then you bring your tag piece up and cut it as close as possible. Continue your way down to the base of the hook. Next we're going to take our UNIFLOSS. We'll put that on the hook and give full coverage. Leave enough space at the eye so that you can tie on later. Once we've done that, you're going to take your wire, put the wire beside the UNIFLOSS, work your way down towards the base of the hook. Now stop a couple of mil, then we're going to add our tinsel. This is the safe space at the head. Tie that on at the side. You take your wire and tinsel and work your way down towards the base of the hook. Now we're going to take our dubbing, just a pinch of dubbing's enough. put it onto your thread, and you can use wax if you wish. Slide the dubbing up the thread and get an anchor point at the bottom. 1 or 2 turns, then tighten 2. Don't worry if the thread is showing through slightly. You want to taper in the body. Moisten your fingers if this helps to tighten the thread. Now we're going to take our tinsel and do 4 or 5 even turns going towards the eye. And we're going to do one last turn and tie off on it. You're going to pull that back and go in front. Then use your scissors to cut as close as possible. Now we're going to do our body hackle. You can judge the size of the hackle by putting it beside your hook. You want it just slightly more than the gape of the hook. You're going to tie that on. Then we're going to get our hackle pliers. You're going to do a couple of turns at the top. And then a few turns on the way down, even spacing. Then we're going to take our wire, we're going to catch the end of the hackle, we're going to pull that tight. Then we're going to do the same amount of even turns on the way back up, going through the thread, counter rubbing. Now we're going to tie this off in front of the hackle, pull the hackle back, making sure there's no fibres going forward. And then we're going to tie that off. We're going to secure the wire by working our way down towards the eye. Now we can just twist that, then we'll get a clean even break. Then we're going to trim the end of the hackle. Now we're going to cut our tag, usually the length of the hook. You can do it shorter, you can do it longer. And we'll take our toothbrush and fluff up the tag. Now we're going to take our rump filler, pull back the waist and reveal the tip, and trim that. Then we're going to tie on. Pull everything back, making sure there's nothing going forward. Work your way down and come back up. Now this stem is thin, so just be careful when you're doing this. This is the most important part of the fly. Now we're going to tie this off by going behind it, and then in front, pulling everything back, making sure there's nothing going forward. Start at the eye and work your way back up. Then we'll snip this as close as possible. Yet again, pull everything back. Use your toothbrush to make sure no fibres are tangled. Now we're going to take our hand cape, pull all the wastage back, fill in the top of the filler, then we're going to tie in from the top. We're going to use all the fibres here. Make sure you're leaving yourself enough space at the eye at this point. If the feller does break at this point, just unwind the thread turns and start again. You'll pull that back and tie it on securely. And we'll cut this as close as possible to the hook. Yet again, we'll use our toothbrush to make sure the fibres are entangled. Now we're going to get our bronze mallard. Get your feller out, pull the wastage away from the bottom, and take about an inch away from the feller, making sure that the tips are lined up. And we'll push it over the top of the hook, and we'll let the thread bring the fibres round. This will give you a cloaked effect on the fly. And do a couple of wraps behind that. Lift it up and do a couple of turns in front of the eye as well. This will make sure that your fibres aren't covering the eye at the end. Take our scissors and cut this as close as possible. And then we'll wrap our thread turns from the eye, working back up. This will catch the fibres better. Now we're going to take our English partridge dyed yellow olive. We're going to take away the waist to reveal the tip and tie it in from the tip. Now this can be quite tricky to work with, so just take your time at this point. Make sure to leave yourself enough room at the eye, and if the head looking as quite large at this point, do not worry, that's a part of the fly. We're going to tie it on from behind, a couple of turns. We'll pull everything back tightly, start from the eye and work our way back. This is where you start to build your head. Then we'll take the waist piece. We'll cut that off as close as possible. Now start from the eye and work your way back up towards the fibres. Continuing to build your head. And we're going to do a whip finish now to finish off the fly. Work your way down towards the eye and back up. And we'll pull the string tight, cut that off as close as possible. And that's almost the fly complete. This is what you should have by now. Now we're going to finish the fly off with some Veniards varnish. Make sure you do not get any varnish in the hackle fibres at this point, as it will ruin the fly. So a gentle approach helps. Get an even coating the whole way around the head. Now we're going to get a wisp piece of wire and put it through the eye of the hook, making sure that there's no varnish left behind. Now you've got a complete fly. If you did enjoy the video, please make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below what you'd like to see more of. See you soon folks, tight lines.